Hi, Michael here from Happy Chiropractic. Thanks for tuning in. I've got my trusty iPad here, which has got the summary of another research article that I found particularly interesting, and I hope that it's informative for you as well. The title of this research article is The Impact of Faulty Posture on Rotator Cuff Tears with and Without Symptoms. Rotator cuff, that is the description for the four main muscles around the shoulder girdle that help to elevate and rotate your shoulder. Your shoulder is not a particularly well-fitting ball and socket joint like the hip. It is much more the limb hanging next to the torso, and it is stabilized by the rotator cuff muscles. And unfortunately in our society, there is a huge amount of people dealing with shoulder issues, and shoulder issues are really hard to deal with clinically. Very, very long healing process and time in most cases. But this article is focusing in on how your posture may be a predictor as to whether you're likely to have a shoulder rotator cuff issue. I.e., let's say that in a different way. You're going to find out in a moment, I'm telling you the final chapter before you've read the story, that if you have good posture, you're less likely to have shoulder problems. So in this study, which had 525 residents in the study, which is a lot of people, by the way, this research was from the Journal of Shoulder and Elbow Surgery in 2015. What this study showed is that of the participants in the study, that the issues that were in the shoulder were 2.9% of the people in the study with shoulder issues had shoulder issues if they had perfect posture. 2.9% of the shoulder issues were with the people with good upright posture. Then we had, moving forward into this article, then we had 65.8%, so 2/3 of the shoulder rotator cuff issues were associated with people that had a rounded posture, increased kyphosis, that rounding, that stooping type posture, the one that as a health practitioner, many people come through the door and one of their chief concerns that they want dealt with is their rounded posture. Associated with shoulder issues, may never have thought of that. Oh, my sore shoulder, nothing to do with my posture. Well, I'm telling you, it probably has. 54.3% of the shoulder issues was to do with a flat back posture. So some of these people may have had more than one postural distortion at the same time. They may have had a rounded upper here, and they may have had flattening through another area. So with a flat back posture, 54.3% of the shoulder issues were associated with a flat back posture, and 48.9% of the shoulder issues were to do with a swayed lower back. So for example, someone may have a swayed lower back and a stoop at the same time, and so that is how those percentages all fit together for this research article. So the take-home message is focus on your posture. It's good for so many different reasons, but particularly if you've got a nagging shoulder issue, one that limits you, one that you have difficulty if you reach your arm around the back, or you reach your hand over your head, or you have your arm out to the side. If you've got some of those shoulder issues, it's most likely something to do with your rotator cuff. One of the things you can do, you've probably been given some awesome exercises to do, but also focus on your posture. Go and see someone who understands correct posture, can educate you in correct posture, and can, in many cases, structurally do some work to encourage your body to heal itself towards correct posture. So I hope you found this interesting. I hope you are not suffering with a shoulder issue, but many people do, unfortunately. Hope you found this useful and interesting and given you some motivation to really have posture at the front of your mind when considering your future health outcomes. Cheers and thanks for watching.